Mr. Gensler, according to information I received from the National Futures Association, the NFA has taken 5 enforcement actions against Peregrine in 1996, 2004, 2008, 2012, and again on July the 9th, 2012. In fact, in 2004, according to a story that was in the New York Times, a Peregrine client sent a letter to the National Futures Association and the CFTC asking it to intervene to prevent the firm from misusing its customers' money. A copy of the letter was obtained by the New York Times. 5 years later, in 2009, again, a tipster wrote to the NFA asking it to review Peregrine's bank account information for accuracy. In 1996, the action involved 2 separate incidents in which Peregrine failed to maintain adequate segregated funds. Again, in 2011, in the course of an audit, NFA was informed that Peregrine was under-segregated by over $200 million. There's 2 letters, one on Friday, one on Monday, that sort of changed those figures. My questions are, was CFTC aware of the 2011 incident, the one in which there were 2 letters, one on Friday and one on Monday? If so, what did you do? And if not, should the CFTC been made aware of it?
To the best of my knowledge, we weren't, but we're going to learn more facts even in looking at our own files at the CFTC. But the audit work papers of the NFA may have that, but we don't necessarily review NFA's audits. There's an outside auditor and then the self-regulatory organization. What we have moved to in the last 2.5 years is we quarterly now look at NFA and CME's reviews, but just on a sample basis. We sample some, and it happens to be Peregrine was not part of our sample, a small sample in these last 2 years.
Is it typical for a firm like Peregrine to have that many enforcement actions taken against it during a similar time period? That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, going back to 1996.
I'd have to get back to you because there are, especially in large financial institutions, and this was smaller, often disciplinary actions or sales practice issues. But I would say, in looking back at the record and even looking at the 2000 action that the CFTC brought, and there was a settlement in 2000 that the CFTC had about accounting records at Peregrine, I think that the system failed to protect the public on this. When you look at those various incidents over the years, now that was 12 years ago at the CFTC, but
well, I guess my question is that 1 red flag ought to be enough, but if you get 2 red flags and then 3 red flags, pretty soon somebody ought to start paying attention.
Right, and that is why we're looking very closely at how we can enhance the standards of the audit itself. That's why we've reached out in the Public Company Accounting Oversight Board that does something similar. It's not identical, but they look at auditors, and we have this responsibility to sort of look at how the auditors at NFA and CMA do their job. We want to learn from that and see how we can be better examiners of the examiners embedded in this self-regulatory.
Well, then that raises the question, does the CFTC have enough power and authority and personnel to ensure that industry self-regulatory organizations fulfill their responsibilities?
We'll continue to look at the statute, but my initial thought is we probably do have the authorities. I think we do need to upgrade some of our rules and how they have to comply with generally accepted auditing standards, what outside auditors have to do, the direct electronic confirmation, direct electronic access. On funding, no, I've said before in front of this committee, I think we're underfunded to oversee the futures industry that's grown 5-fold since the 90s, and then we have the swaps industry as well.
It's my understanding